Well, I think that's something, something that you and I have in common because we've talked before is that when like your website platform comes out with a new feature, you sign up for it the minute you get the email, you dive into it, you explore it, you figure it out and decide if it's like right or not right for you. I do the same thing. And it's so fun to have an online business where you can honestly do anything. Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. In this episode, I am talking to Vasi Siedman, a Florida-based pet photographer and founder of PetPix Academy. Vasi got into pet photography because she believes that everyone should have beautiful photos of their pets to remind them of the wonderful memories they created together. While working on pet portraits for private clients over the years, many people asked for tips to take better photos when they were on their own with their pets. That led Vasi to launch PetPix Academy, an online course, membership, and podcast that teaches pet parents to take better photos and edit right on their smartphones. I am so happy that we got to connect because Vasi and I have such a similar energy and passion for helping pet parents create the best life possible with their pets. I know you're really going to enjoy this interview. But before I hit play on that, I want to ask you a really quick favor. If you enjoy this show and have learned something from me or my guests, would you please take a quick moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts? If you have an iPhone, just pull up the purple podcast app, find my show's main page, and write a review. These really help the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast move up in the ranks and continue to grow our community of women in the pet industry. If you have any trouble figuring out how to do this, just shoot me a DM on Instagram at Wear, Wag, Repeat, and I will gladly help. Vasi Siedman is a third-generation photographer from Bulgaria. She has been in the photography field learning and mastering the craft of capturing beautiful photographs for almost a decade in the middle of tropical Florida. Vasi created PetPix Academy in 2019 as an online education platform to teach pet parents how to take and edit pet photos on their own. Welcome, Vasi. How are you?
Doing well, Tori. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Yay.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here because we've connected on social media, but I always love meeting like-minded women petpreneurs, and I just think we have a lot in common.
Oh, yes, for sure. I'm a fan of yours. I really love what you do for the pet community and, for pet parents and pet businesses. And you're inspiration for a lot of people, including myself. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for saying that. But we're talking about you today. So let's start off. Would you kind of share with us what inspired you to get into pet photography? I know you have a family history of photographers, but I'm sure they weren't pet photographers. So what inspired you to kind of go this direction?
Well, I actually do have two reasons. The first reason goes back since I was a teenager, and we did have 3 doggies. And unfortunately, many years later, we realized that we don't have any pictures of them, which is, it's really very devastating. I'm sure that everyone from the listeners would agree. I mean, not having pictures, not being able to show, to your spouse, to your family, now to my daughter, my doggies when I was growing up, it was really very hard. And then the second reason is the truth is that my husband and I, we couldn't have kids for 3 years. And it was really difficult. And one day, my mom is a very important person in my life. She's the one who kind of inspired me to become a photographer. And then she is the one who one day asked me the question. She said, "So Vasi, you love your husband. You have your doggy Chico and you have your kitty cat Shmoo. They are your kids. So what is the problem? Are you happy? And I said, yes. And that was like these moments in your life when just, that this moment changed your life for the rest of the days you're on this earth. And then I started looking into different photographers in my area because I already was working for a photographer, and he kept also asking me, Vasi, what would you like to specialize in? And that's how I discovered that there were people who photograph families and newborns and fashion and business portraits, but we really didn't have any good photographers who do really good job with portraits and capturing the essential and the personality of the furry kids.
I love it. It's a wonderful niche to be in, and you do more than just dogs. You photograph all kinds of animals. Do you have a most interesting pet or animal that you've ever worked with?
Well, I guess it was the piggy. Oh my God. It was so funny. So I went to this clinic. I mean, I have my work hanging there, over 200 canvases in my local area. And so with this clinic, I went and I said, bring me exotic animals. And they brought me the piggy. So the piggy treat, actually, believe it or not, but it was curious. And then the piggy mommy, she said that when they did renovate their home, they picked a special service for the floor so the piggy doesn't sleep. It was he. And I really had a lot of fun because I think I put a bow tie on the piggy and they just enjoyed it. So I took some pictures and then eventually I created some art pieces and now still keep using some of those pictures for PetPix. I also photograph fishes and I photographed a lot of bunnies, like I did for a rescue, over 20 bunnies and guinea pigs for like 2 hours. Like about 2-3 months ago. So I have a lot of experience. I can say I had to photograph 2 times in my career snakes, and I have a personal fear.
Yeah.
But they said, and I did the bunny before the snakes. And so they said, Vasi, go and wash your hands. And I said, listen, I'm not touching. And then I told them, please go in the camera room. I left the door open. I kept looking at them to get used to. And I said, I will take this picture, but I'm not going to edit them. The moment when I send them to you, I'm deleting them from my computer. That's exactly what I did. And no more. I turned down. I tell, I love you, friends. I love you, clients, but for students, I don't know. No.
Yeah. Stick to the furry ones, I think. Exactly. And fish are okay. And pigs, they count as kind of like the furry ones. They've got like a little bit of wiry hair.
Exactly. And I did a lot of birds in my career. And I think that one of the coolest story was that actually the birdie was able to go outside. And so I put her in one of my cars, like props cars. And it was like yellow and greenish and just orangey, very beautiful bird. And her pictures on the car, driving the car, came out awesome.
Oh, that sounds really cool. You're so creative.
Thank you.
And so when you were do you still do the portrait work in addition to the online courses and everything?
Yes, I do. And actually what happened was for many years, probably since 2015 and 16, my clients kept asking me, Vasi, can you give us some tips so we can take good pictures of our babies when you're not around? At the time, they used to call it Vasi style. And it was so funny. We meet once a year for me to take their holiday pictures. And they would say, Vasi, we went on vacation and you were making your noises and jumping. And it was so amazing. So I'm a very active photographer. Of course, since last year, things had changed a little bit, but I still work with a lot, again, over 20 animal places in my area. And I'm big into helping rescues. And I'm so excited that finally with PetPix, I can actually help more rescues and, people who are fostering pets in a larger scale, which I guess it's everyone's goal.
Right. Yeah. So that's a really good transition kind of, as a photographer, you have your time and is what it is. And you can only do so much. But by having these online courses and teaching other people, it's not taking business away from you, but it's just expanding the impact that you can make in the world. So tell us all about PetPix Academy. What is it?
Well, what I do, it's so my students are any age. I mean, I have from 20 years old to 75. And I do have a membership as well, like you, and I do have courses. And practically, I have been in the photography for almost a decade. So what I do is I simplify and I explain to regular people how they can use their cell phone to take pictures or maybe build home studio, how their picture can look professional and how they can edit them with their cell phone with apps or maybe remove the background or just work on the lighting. And I'm really passionate just because I can see the growth. And I'm a tough teacher in a good way. Like I teach too much. I tell people maybe my teaching is not for everyone. And I do encourage, go and listen. Let's say in our membership, go and re-listen because I teach on layers. But just the results of seeing people to change their pictures, because to me, it's not the pictures, it's the memories. For less than a month, it's incredible. Like I'm fascinated. And it's just amazing. Like I have this client from Berlin. For less than 3 weeks, she changed everything. Like I have another one. She had some health issues. So she joined, PetPix. She's now part of my membership. She joined. I do also classes every week on a different topic. And her pictures again, less than a month, day and night. And that's what brings me so much joy. So yes, I love taking pictures, but I'm just love teaching. It's incredible.
I think it's just so it's so rewarding and it's so great to be able to teach what you know to other people. I think if anybody listening to this isn't doing that in some way, you need to try it because it really kind of shows you like the whole reason behind why we do what we do.
Exactly.
And also it can turn into a new revenue stream, which is always really important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can tell you a lot of my students, I call them students just because I feel that that's the most appropriate, but they become my friends. So they start taking pictures. Eventually, a lot of them become pet influencers. So brands pay them, they pay them some part of the sales. Eventually, some of them decide to branch out, and that's where you come in place to help them with how they can run their online pet businesses. So it's just incredible. I mean, I've had people who just one of our admins of PetPix Academy, she's a pet clothing designer, Mary Ellen from Mary Ellen Design. She said she tripled her business because of the tips I taught her on photography. It's just fun photography. And that's what it is. And sometimes when I work with marketing companies, they keep telling me, Vasi, you have to keep showing your work. And I'm like, you can go to Vasi Studio and you can see my work. I mean, yes, I have 2 photography degrees. I get awards all the time, first, second, third place portrait of pets for photography competition. But what it's really food for my soul in a good way and makes me get up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 mornings a week. It's the progress of my students and them growing their businesses or just having fun with their furry kids.
Yeah, because they can do anything. They might be a pet clothing designer. They might become a pet influencer. They might be, taking photos that they get an album made and give it to all their family members. I mean, there's so many different things that I'm sure your students are doing. So it's very exciting. So earlier this year, you also started a podcast.
Oh, yes.
So what inspired you to do that?
Well, the truth is that it was a happy mistake and you're going to be laughing, but I signed up for marketing training because at this time I didn't know about you. I wish I did, but I guess everything happens for a reason in life. And so this training included few mini courses. And one of them apparently was the podcast. So long story short, I received a message, Vasi, your podcast training is starting. I'm like, what? I signed up for, and this is in the middle of December, like in winter, I have up to 6 sessions a day. Like I'm really busy. People book me like 4 months ahead. And now with teaching 2 to 3 times a day, it's even more. So anyway, and I'm like, okay, I will deal with it from January on. So January 2nd, I made my decision. I said, Pet Podcast it is. And I launched PetPix Academy podcast on March 3rd. And I'm very excited because it's just amazing. I mean, like as we are recording now, I launched today's 69th episode.
That's amazing.
I know. I know. I'm a course, I just love creating courses and content and just teaching. But again, just to use your phone and create the memories, because that's honestly, it's a big deal for me.
Yeah. Well, it's different. I think that so many people get worried that if they teach people how to do what they do, they'll lose them as a customer or something like that. But I'm sure you would say that's not the case.
It's not the case because my client, so I live in Florida. I live in West Palm Beach area. 20 minutes from me, it's Palm Beach. I was with one of the very wealthy people and celebrity who live. And some of them are my clients. And they tell me, I want you to photograph my baby. I don't want you to teach me. But then I have furry parents or businesses, especially businesses, would say, Vasi, I want for you to tell me how I can build a home studio and save thousands of dollars on what equipment I need and how my picture can look professional. So honestly, I realized that my regular clients, they are here and they're very different. And the people who are willing to invest their time to learn, they're just different.
Yeah. Well, and I think especially for business owners nowadays, they might want to take photos every single day. And so you don't want to wait to have a scheduled photo shoot once a month or every 3 months or something. Like no one really wants to do that anymore. People want to take photos every day.
Exactly. And the truth is that I actually do the same for myself. Most of my pictures are my cell phone selfie pictures, of course, well done with my lights. I don't even edit my pictures, to be honest with you, other than removing background. And yes, I think that nowadays you need to be doing really high quality pictures, including videos as well. And a lot of times what they don't realize, especially pet businesses, my regular furry parents as well, is that a lot of times when you scroll on Instagram or Facebook or other social media, even Amazon, you look at the picture and you only know the simple answer, yes or no. A lot of times, if your brain tells you you don't like it, it's most likely because with picture it's dark, it's blurry, and your brain says, I don't like it. But if the picture is bright and vivid and can be simple, less it's more, then believe me, that's when people will be most likely willing to spend time and follow you, become your fans, buy from you. And it's just incredible because I've seen the difference. And sometimes it's only 30 seconds of basic editing.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is.
Well, so you also mentioned video, and I know that you do a lot of video yourself on social media and also, for your course and membership too. But tell us a little bit about video on social media and what makes you kind of love doing videos.
Okay, we always try, we are so visual and things did change since last year. So people have very short span attention. So when you give them a beautiful video, again, beautiful, it means clean background, avoid cables, and other things, let's say, trash can and etc., unless they're part to tell the story. Nice lighting. Go closer to the biggest window in the room. Try again, be aware in the background. Make sure that when you stay, your body does not produce a shadow, because sometimes you can see in the bottom, it's a little black because that's the shadow from where you hold the phone. And also make sure you can see really well the faces, like the eyes. To me, the eyes of our furry kids are the key to their soul and heart. And this is what people would love to see. And then just short clips of video. And that's what I do. It's one thing when I photograph for my clients. I have a joke. People pay me to pick up my camera, photograph with my phone. I just do a couple of pictures on portrait mode or live photo for Android people. And then I will do a couple of short clips, 5 to 7 seconds long from different angles. And then I will move on. And then, videos, you can utilize them not only for Reels and also TikTok, but you can also utilize them for your stories. And we know that as a person, you teach social media, stories are very important nowadays. And just again, if you want, all of us, we grow. And sometimes I hear from my students, they would say, but Vasi, my pictures are not good enough. And here I am, friends, to tell you that your audience grow with you. So if today your pictures are maybe a little dark, maybe don't look the way you'd like them to look. The most important is that today you decided, to follow Tori, to follow me, to go to somewhere else, and just you're willing to learn. And then tomorrow they will be a little better. And then your followers keep, kind of shifting and changing their taste, and they will grow with you. And that's the exciting part.
Yeah. Even for me, my style, my taste, I think has changed. And so the photos that appealed to me 2 years ago that I posted, I don't really like now, or just my style's changed. It's not that I don't like them, but it's just different. And the things that I was posting in quarantine were very unedited because it was just like me, myself, and I. And now I'm kind of getting that creative spark back again and more excited to be more creative. So, I think that we all can adapt, and we all have like shared experiences. Whereas like during lockdown, everyone, even national television shows, were posting very homemade looking things. And we all were together. And it's kind of cool in that way. So you just need to start.
Exactly. Start and know, friends, that you can do it. Here it's the time to tell you, and Tori also will tell you the same. You can do it. And if there is sometimes, and I'm sure you heard this 100 times, there will be friends around you saying, oh, you have 1,000 pictures of your babies. Oh, you only posting about your babies on your social media. And that's the beauty of it. We cannot pick our family members, but we can pick our friends, and being part of, of your community. It's just so much fun because you are around people who think exactly like you. And that's so incredible, amazing.
Well, I think that's something that you and I have in common, because we've talked before, is that when like your website platform comes out with a new feature, you sign up for it the minute you get the email, you dive into it, you explore it, you figure it out, and decide if it's like right or not right for you. I do the same thing. And it's so fun to have an online business where you can honestly do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part. And
yeah.
I love it.
It's amazing. Okay. So now one more question. Well, two more questions. But first, is there anything that you know now that you wish you knew when you were starting your business?
Yes. To trust my instincts and to know that if you're true to yourself, because let's face it, obviously I'm a foreigner. Yes. And I have an accent. And sometimes when I write with mistakes. But then I had to decide that it doesn't matter, because I have my values and things I can help others. And the moment when I made this change in my mindset is the moment when actually truly my community, my students told me that I changed for less than a week. And this is the one thing I want to tell you, friends, that be who you are. And then you're going to attract people who are like you. And that's what it's really, I cannot even tell you how much amazing. It's really extremely rewarding.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't have anything to add because that's just perfect. So, okay, the last question I have for you is to tell us about your fur baby and how they came into your life.
Okay, the situation was the man with the furry babies. So when I met my, at that time, boyfriend, now husband, he had he had the doggy and he had the kitty cat. And so eventually we got married. So I became, the step mommy. So Chico nowadays, he's a Chihuahua. He's about 7.5 pounds. He's 15. So he's a little older. He actually takes 5 medications a day. And I treasure every day with him and every single picture. But I'm a true believer that you need to have at least once a pet life. I hope more, but at least once when you go to a professional photographer to have this signature portrait. So I do have it. It's in my studio. I have my 3 kids. I have my kitty cat, who unfortunately it's not with us anymore. I have my daughter portrait when she was 2, and I have also Chico. So I walk in the studio, which I have my home studio. I look at them and I'm like, okay, my community and my family, it's what makes me get up at 3:30 and keep creating. And that's how it happens, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So you have mentioned a couple of times getting up at 3:30 in the morning. What time do you go to bed?
10:30, 11:30.
You're not getting a lot of sleep, Vasi.
Nope. I don't. And to be honest with you, because all day long, my phone rings all the time with my local clients, with my students, and whatever else, when you run an online platform. I mean, I have Facebook community and Instagram community and private membership. So it's a lot of things. I cannot really focus to edit my clients' pictures. And at the end of the day, I need to. So when I wake up early, I'm extremely productive, either with coming up with new ideas for PetPix or with editing pictures. And to me, it's a big deal because I actually was sleeping till like 7 for a long time. And then I always kept hearing these successful people who get up early, go to the gym. And I know that you also are early bird as well.
Well, I just recently started getting up at like between 5 and 5:30. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it too. So, but I can do it not more than 4 days a week. And then I need to have one night of normal sleep. And then I may be able to do another time. But, I love to sleep. I can't deny it. But I just want to be creative.
I do too. Oh, I love to sleep. But the thing is, getting up at 5, and I'm like, go all day long. By like 8:30, I'm waiting for the sun to go down so that I can go to sleep.
I hear you on this. I feel the same way. Sometimes even like at 7 p.m., I'm like so tired. But
yes.
Nothing you can do again.
Yeah, I think the only way to, people say there's only 24 hours in the day, but the only way to get kind of more time is to wake up earlier is what I have found.
Yes, exactly. Wake up early, maybe have a schedule, try to stick with the schedule. But waking up early did make such a huge change in my life. And I started waking up so early, like, let's say 2 months ago. Before that, I was actually staying to 2, 3, or 5 in the morning. But I don't know, since I started the podcast and now, it's this thinking process. I mean, how crazy it is. I create a class on photography every week.
That's amazing. It's no wonder you're getting up at 3:30 because you're doing a lot.
So the things behind the scene people don't see. Create this landing page, create this video, create this, and so it's so much that. But again, I'm willing to do it because at the end of the day, what matters, it's, these amazing, awesome furry parents and their pictures and the pet businesses growing their businesses and then them building their confidence because they know that their pictures and video on social media look like they have been photographed. And in fact, I just very quick want to mention, so I joined 3 photography organizations and I'm on the board of my local photography guild. 2019, when I opened PetPix, I started telling the board, I told them, listen, you can take as good pictures and video with your phone as I can do with my $6,000 camera. And they didn't like me. They still don't like me. But this year, they're finally realizing, after I taught my photography community, that I'm right. Because it is true. And so, friends, you can do it with your phone. You don't need to buy expensive camera. But the lighting, it's very crucial.
Yes, I know. I need to improve my lighting, so I'll have to pick your brain about that. But for now, we have to wrap up the episode. So tell everyone where can they learn more about like the Vasi universe and where can they find you online?
I love it. Well, thank you again for having me. Friends, it's easy. It's PetPix, but Pix is with X, petpixacademy.com. And you're going to, when you go there, I do have a free class, which is very interesting. And you can also see my podcast. Again, my podcast, it's slightly different, again, with a lot of photography tips. And just again, all the social media. I'm big on Instagram, like I love Instagram, and also Facebook as well. I have a Facebook group there.
Okay, awesome. Well, and of course, we'll put all the links in the show notes. And I want to just thank you so much for sharing your story and your advice with us.
Thank you for having me. And friends, believe in yourself, press the button. You can do it, create the memory, and level up your social media.
I love it. Just press the button and do it.
I love it too.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram at TMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.